let that light shine in, young man. I don't know why I said that. So this is going to be a review of Breaking Bad. Season 4, episode 12. We're one more episode away from the season finale, well, which would be the season finale. I am interested to see how this one would end. Now, it lost a little bit of its power. Some of the scenes in here lost a little bit of their power because the show has been over for so long. You come back and try and watch it. I've heard rumblings of this series for years now, and I could go and look through all the episodes from future episodes that I'm going to watch, and not watch them, but just like see who's in them. You know what I mean? And I know he's not. I know Mr. White's not gonna die. I'll get to that later, though. So this episode starts off with a lot of frantic behavior from the characters. Mr. White's under the impression that he's going to be murdered and his family's going to be murdered. So for some reason, they wind up piggybacking off Hank's protection because, of course, somebody called in a threat, which was Saul on Hank. And now Mrs. White Jr. and their small child are at Hank's house with Hank and Marie, which are the in-laws, and they're going back and forth. Meanwhile, Mr. White's at the house trying to kill time till he's killed. But I guess, which is a great, it's a great move by the writers and everybody involved in the story to do this. Pinkman's been carrying around this dang cigarette with that poison in it for I don't know how long. Now, he gets around an impressionable kid. It happened a million times. I think I've even done it. I've watched somebody smoke a cigarette. I don't want to do that. So you try and smoke the cigarette. My experience, cigarettes are disgusting and don't want any more. Never, I think I lit one and tried it and was like, that's just disgusting. I don't even want to mess with those no more. So then, that was my experience with cigarettes. But this one, the kid actually smoked a cigarette with a lot of poison. I'm surprised he's still alive. And he said he's going to die. I mean, there's no way to come back from that. But Mr. White, being the good chemist that he is, decides to make a car bomb. Boy, that took a turn for the left. I wasn't expecting that. So he's trying to get Gustavo, the boss, and for some reason, movie magic, Gustavo can sniff out the fact that something's awry, so he doesn't go to the car. So Mr. White, of course, is now the actor who plays Mr. White is so good. I could believe everything. I could believe all the emotions that he's going through as they're being shown on the screen. Now the rest of them, I gotta be like, okay, maybe he's feeling like that. Okay, maybe she's feeling like that. But Mr. White, that actor, he just does such a great job of projecting or bringing to life what's written on that script. He does such a great job of that, which makes the series that much more enjoyable to watch. Now, I want to touch back on Pinkman for a minute. He's finally given in to his emotions towards the young lady from the rehab center, but her young son is now sick and there's pretty much no coming back from that. So it's like, oh my god, it's no coming back from that. There's no coming back from that. That's what they've said. There's no coming back from that. So I'm curious to see if the little kid makes it through, and I want to see what relationship comes about. How the relationship continues from this point, or if she decides to just end it all together, or is he gonna blab to her everything? Oh, well, I work for this cartel guy, and I cook meth, and blah, 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 blah. I love you. I don't want you guys to get hurt anymore. Just stay away from me, this, that, and third. Say, no, I love you, but you're right. I have to leave. I don't want to. That's too much of a cliche, and I hope it doesn't end like that. I hope. Well, I got money. I hope they could. Oh, goddamn. Man, I got these dang fur balls in my beard, and it is driving me crazy. I hope they could. Almost got it. There it is. That's a white hair. Right there, that's a white hair. But anyway, I'm hoping beyond all hope that they figure out some other way for that to be resolved. Now you want to talk about Mrs. White. She's playing her part pretty well. I can believe her emotion in this situation too. Really, I take that back. I can believe her emotion in this situation. Mr. White is not the only actor who's putting in a great performance. She stepped up too. Junior, I think, as the show progresses and in real life that character gets older, he's like, a lot of his innocence is starting to disappear. I don't know if that's by design. They're trying to make him seem more and more of a brat, if you will. Don't necessarily like the direction that character's going, but of course, only time will tell what'll happen with him. But Mrs. White, she stepped it up. I believe her. I wonder what her next play is. I'm not 100% sure. I wonder what her next play is. Now Hank has used a little bit of psychology to get his former partner to go and check out the facility where Mr. White and Pinkman, where Mr. White used to work, where Pinkman is working to cook the meth, and they bring a drug dog, which is a Belgian Malinois. It's it looks like a German Shepherd, but it's in the same family, but it's smaller. I noticed because I sought out that information. Just curious, sought out that information. But anyway, try to sniff out those drugs. They didn't find anything, of course. Pink was down there having a conversation with one of the henchmen. No big deal. But Pinkman, I'm jumping around, but Pinkman, I'm jumping back to Pinkman. So Pinkman, like I said before, he's that little kid he's grown an attachment to is sick, and of course he really cares for the kid's mother. He refuses to leave the hospital, but it's all a play in order to get Gustavo down there, which is the big boss, so they can try and use that car bomb on him, but of course that doesn't work, like I said earlier. And because Pinkman, I think his what's been written for him, I think is good. Not necessarily his acting, but I will give him props. He is a decent actor. So the range of emotions he's going through is, first and foremost, it can't be my fault that little kid got poisoned. It cannot. That's the farthest thing that's the farthest thought from his mind at this point. There's no way that my actions caused that kid to get poisoned. There's no way. There's Mr. White. That somehow Mr. White, this is the part I was talking about at the beginning. Mr. White, it comes to a head because Pinkman's so upset about that little kid being poisoned, and Mr. White's so frantic about being killed, he forgets and leaves his firearm unattended. Well, he leaves his firearm in a place where Pinkman can grab it. Pinkman grabs it and winds up pressing the barrel into Mr. White's forehead, and they're going back and forth. I'll kill you. Mr. White's saying, do it. He says, I'll do it, I'll kill you. They're going back and forth like that. Of course, Pinkman doesn't kill him. It's really intense scene, but like I said, it lost some of its vigor or fire, if I'm using that word, vigor, correct? It lost some of its oomph or punch because, like I said, I've heard rumblings. I've heard people talk about this series for years, and I'm able to, when I'm watching that, which is on Netflix, I'm able to scroll through all the future episodes and see that Mr. White's still alive. So he may and would have injured him, but he didn't do that. So okay, you got that going on. Now Saul comes into play. This is the lawyer. He's decided to bug out because, to quote that character, he says, I don't want to butter the wrong bread here, which he pretty much already has. He's been helping Mr. White. Mr. White is the enemy of Gustavo, really. They're really enemies. But he's been helping him, so yeah, you're going to get some residual splatter if Mr. White decides to go kill on Mr. White, and you're going to get some residual from that. So, I mean, overall, I'm excited to see what happens in the next episode. I don't know. I'm just excited to see, because it's ramping up. This is actually, the first season where they do a more traditional ramp up towards the final climax of the season, because usually they're like every episode is like I say, well, not every episode. There will be more than one episode which is worthy of being a season finale in a TV series. And like I said, a lot of these episodes can be turned into movies themselves. Just you add some more characters and stretch it out a little bit, it's a decent movie. I kid you not. I'm excited to see what happens next.